Nomad Cosmetics is coming out with another collab, and are we watching the relaunch of Makeup Geek? Or at least something beauty related. Hello and welcome to this week's new makeup releases, where we talk about the new makeup that's been released, announced, and sneak peek. I let you know how I feel about these things, and then you let me know down in the comments how you feel about these things. This episode is really exciting because I'm actually filming this a little bit ahead of time because I am traveling to my friend Amanda, Makeup Just for Fun. I'm traveling to North Carolina, and I am going to be filming probably a couple of new releases from her home towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But I am very excited to share with you so far what I've been able to see from new makeup releases, and I'm also very excited to check in back again at the end of the video telling you about the latest and newest and the hottest, because I know there's gonna be some. I'm so excited to let you know that this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. I am a big HelloFresh fan, and HelloFresh is perfect if you, like me, love eating home-cooked meal, but you don't love the whole idea of planning and shopping. Going to the grocery store is one of my least favorite grown-up things to do. And with HelloFresh, all you have to do is go into the website. There are so many different meals to choose from every week. It's like ordering from a menu. You just pick whatever meals that you're interested in. They have meals for everyone. Classic meals, you think about calories, maybe you're vegetarian like me and my husband. They have so many different things to choose from. They also have meals, which I really love. It tells you how long they take to make. So they have some that are really, really quick, which are great if you're just really busy like me and my husband, or just really don't like to cook for a really long time. And then HelloFresh will ship the ingredients to you already pre-measured, straight to your door, together with recipe cards that I think are super easy to follow. And I love the meals that I get. These are restaurant quality meals that you get to cook at home without having to worry about finding that special ingredients that you only end up using once and just taking up a lot of space in your pantry. We have really been throwing away a lot less food since we started doing HelloFresh, and we've been doing way less takeout, which was the main reason why we started doing HelloFresh way before I worked with HelloFresh. And me and my husband have been using HelloFresh since 2020, and we still do have a subscription with HelloFresh, not only when I'm working with them, but we also do have our own subscription. I also love all the add-ons that HelloFresh has. They have some really great snacks, dessert, breakfast options, also breads. Their garlic bread, their bagels, they are amazing. I also love their little breakfast egg bites that they have. Those are delicious too, and I always add on a couple of those things to my order because I think they're just so great to have in the fridge, have in the freezer, to pick up whenever you want to have breakfast or a snack in between meals, or just a very quick dinner if you don't even want to cook anything. And we are getting into busy season. There is so many things going on, maybe with your work, like for me, or just planning for the holiday season, and we have even less time to plan meals and grocery runs, and HelloFresh can really help ease the stress and just free up a little extra time before the holidays. So get 10 free meals at hellofresh.com and use code Angelica10. Applied over 7 boxes, new subscribers only, varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to hellofresh.com with code Angelica10. And if nothing else, go to the HelloFresh website and check out the different options that they have. Their menu is so large, not only with the meals, but also with the add-ons. It's such a flexible plan as well. You can add on different proteins, swap out things. You can take a break for a week if maybe you're on vacation. It's just such a convenient way to dealing with the every week stress of mealtime. So check out all the info in the description box down below, or scan the QR code that's been on the screen. And thank you again so much, HelloFresh, for sponsoring another video on my channel. I am one very happy HelloFresh customer. I also did film this look. It is coming soon. When is this coming? I think it's coming next week. I'm so confused right now. I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, I did film this look. It is coming quite soon. Should we start talking about the collab that Blend Money is doing? Because first, let me actually scoochie to the side so that we can put up some pictures. First, we got this picture from Blend Money, basically hinting or saying that they were going to do a collab with Glisten Cosmetics. Glisten Cosmetics is UK based, and I am I'm gonna go 99.9% sure that they are known for their cake liners and their cake liner palettes. I do use some cake liners. I feel like a lot of brands are doing cake liners, and from someone who hasn't done that themselves, like I have never produced any cake liners, I have never ordered any cake liners for my own brand, I am gonna assume that most places use the same kind of formula because I have not seen a lot of difference between the formulas. That's going to be my honest opinion on that, and that's probably the reason why I haven't myself tried Glisten Cosmetics, because I was like, from all the cake liners I've ever tried from different indie brands, it goes down to your color preference. What color are you looking for? Because I don't feel like there's a big difference in quality between the brands. That might just be me. But I'm just saying that's how I feel, and that's why I've never tried Glisten Cosmetics. But they were putting up this one saying like, you're like really pretty, and Glisten Cosmetics was saying, oh my god, so are you, let's create some magic. Basically hinting that the two brands were gonna do something together. I am not entirely sure, because I know that Blend Bunny is stocked at a UK store, and I'm wondering if that is Glisten Cosmetics. Yes, it is definitely Glisten Cosmetics. Okay, so if you want to buy Blend Bunny Cosmetics and you are in the UK, you can definitely shop from Glisten Cosmetics. If you're shopping from the US website, you can use my code and get some money off. But then the next one came off, and basically in this one, they were showing like a group chat, and they were basically saying that let's do it with a twist, and then they were gonna add somebody to the groups, and they added Lynn's makeup looks. I think Lynn's makeup look is absolutely incredible. I think that her looks is very 2016. And even though you can't tell today, I'm still stuck in 2016. I want the cut creases, I want the colorful creases, I want the bold eye makeup. I am stuck in that. I want that. I crave that. So I'm very excited to see that Lynn's makeup looks is going to be doing a collab with Glisten Cosmetics and Blend Bunny Cosmetics. And we did see a sneak peek. This is from the two brands that posted this. Without them even showing me this, I will be like, they're doing a rainbow palette and a palette with like liners. If there is anything else than that, I would be so surprised. So surprised, because Blend Bunny Cosmetics has a tendency of doing those gradient palettes. I am assuming that, I think that Lynn uses a lot of Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and I'm guessing Glisten Cosmetics as well, and I'm just gonna assume that she is gonna be continuing with that thing, continuing with the theme of like Blend Bunny Cosmetics, doing somewhat of a rainbow, her version of a rainbow palette with the gradient. The thing is that like we have seen that so much now that I am kinda, I worry. I worry because I am excited, but I worry because there has been quite a few of those palettes. They're not dupes. They're not the same palette, but eventually you will just bleed the rainbow dry. Like it's just a little bit too much. And I love Maggie so much, and I love the brand so much, and I worry. I really do. Again, I know nothing about the brand. Maybe they're selling more than ever, maybe they're thriving, maybe they're like, I don't know, but I can tell in the makeup community that the interest is slowing down a little bit, simply because people are like, this again. And I don't want that for the brand because I love them so much. So I do worry a little bit. Do I know what this exactly is going to be? No. But it says, because two baddies are better than one, Glisten Cosmetics and I gave Lynn's makeup look her own two separate playgrounds to play in, giving her and you all so many ways to get creative and fun. And they're saying that these are magnetic pans, and one of them definitely looks like those water activated liners. I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna be a water activated liner palette and an eyeshadow palette. One of them seems to be a neon, and I'm very excited about that because I do know that she discontinued the Search palette because she wasn't able to produce the neon eyeshadows at the same cost, because the cost of the neon pigments had skyrocketed. But I have seen, since I saw Bella Beauté bar, they put some neons in one of their recent palettes, and they didn't have to raise the cost of that palette, I think. So I'm wondering, like, maybe the cost have gone down again. Maybe they found a new supplier. Listen, I have no idea, but I'm excited to see some neons again because it does give that extra fun pop to a palette. Neons are kind of hard to work with. They don't perform like regular eyeshadows because you have to put in so much white pigment as a base to get them to be that poppy neon. So they are usually drier. You can't really build upon neons. It's just not how they work. So I'm just letting you know about that right now, because I sometimes see people review neon shadows and they're like, oh, this is so dry and it's unbuildable, and it's just the nature of neon shadows. It's just the way that they are. So it's going to be interesting to see what this palette is going to be about, because this shade that you see here, the one that's called Unhinged up in the corner, that to me, to my somewhat trained eyeshadow eye, definitely looks like a neon eyeshadow. I don't know when this is being revealed or released. If I have seen this, when I pop in at the end when I'm filming from Amanda, because I don't know how many releases. Of course, I mean, I don't know the future. One might think I do, but I don't. But when I come in from Angie from the future towards the end of the video, if we have a full reveal, I'll show you and we'll talk about it then. Huh? How about that? Clionadh Cosmetics launched their holiday launch. It's already live, and they launched some special magnetic nail polishes. I'm so excited that they have started doing magnetic nail polishes. I think they're just so fun. It just makes me super, super happy. And if you're ordering from Clionadh, you can use my code and get some money off. They also do these like stocking stuffers. They do like advent calendars. They do a lot of fun things, like bigger, smaller things for like the holiday season. So if you like little stuff like that, definitely check out their website. They usually have so many fun things to choose from. Also, I wanted to let you know that Fantasy Cosmetica, the official name of this one? Harvest of Souls. I keep forgetting the name of that one. It has officially restocked. You sold that palette out. It is my new favorite palette from the brand. I am having a makeup ranking, which I also think is going to be next week. And this palette is really up there. That's going to be like a hint for what's come in the future. This palette is really up there, and it's back in stock again after selling out. Again, you can use the code and get some money off. I truly recommend this palette. It is such a fun palette. I think the color story is genius. I really love what she did with this palette, and I am so excited to see that she's having good success with it as well. So I just wanted to let you know, it is back in stock. We've also seen Bella Beauté Bar sneak peeking a new palette. This is Bella Beauté Bar's. It's a collaboration with sassyfairie. Oh no, sassyfairie. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. Sometimes I see a word in English and I'm so sure how I'm gonna say it, and then I say it and I'm like, that didn't taste correctly. It says, people call me Shaz, but I'm just a menace. I love it. So her makeup looks fire. Pure, absolute fire. That looks so beautiful. I'm so excited for them to have this collab. That's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to see what it is. Clearly, the front here, you're seeing a still picture, but they are showing that there's a butterfly on the front, and it's like this holographic, almost kaleidoscope when you move the palette around. Looks really pretty. Again, if I know more towards the end of the video, I will let you know. Ooh, more indie things. I'm actually wearing this one today. This one you're gonna see in action soon. And this is the Hoppy Go Lucky, the new palette from Ensley. It is not the shimmer that's on my lids. Sneak peek. You know what my shimmers are? I bought it. I bought it. You're gonna see it in action. So the mattes are from Ensley. It's the new Hoppy Go Lucky palette. I don't know if I have it here. I don't know if I properly told you what these palettes are gonna be. These palettes from Ensley are gonna be 6-pan palettes that come out once a month. I don't know for how long, but I already have December's palette with me, so I know it's at least for one more month. It's gonna be 6-pan palettes. Basically, you're gonna get, honestly, they're the same great quality as Ensley usually has. It's just in a smaller palette at a smaller price tag. If you wanted to try out the brand, I am really excited to see more brands do stuff like this, because I used to love, and so far I haven't been able to have time to do a dedicated video, and it makes me so sad because I really want to. So hopefully when I get back from my trip, I'll be able to do something with the other 6-pan palette, because I think they're just so fun. I'm so excited about like the brand doing something like this. You can use my code and get some money off at Ensley. And this palette, I'm fairly sure that it's already available. They're just doing a series, basically one animal per palette per month. And they have done, this was the little rabbit, and then last one they did, I don't even remember the one for last month, but I do remember, wait, I have it here, I see it, hold. Oh, it was a squirrel. I keep thinking it was a bee because of the yellow and the dark brown. It's not a bee, sweetie, it's a squirrel. And I already know, like I said, what the palette is going to be for next month, and it's just little animals, one for each month, and I'm excited. I'm excited that they're doing this. I'm excited that they so far have been a little bit more neutral leaning, because I have seen some comments on my channel, especially as of late, saying that they want to try indie makeup, but there are like no neutral options. And Ensley are giving us some smaller neutral options, and I do think that that's really fun as well. So I am super excited about those, and I'm so excited that they have showed the palette, and I cannot wait to show you the third palette once we have the opportunity to do that as well. Oh my god, started a reel. Don't mind me. Also, last week I talked about, but I wasn't able to show you because they hadn't been shown yet, and that is the new palette from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Polar Express palette. Again, I did not have time to do anything with this, which it looks so pretty. You know me, I love blues, I love reds. This color story is very up my alley. I really like this one, almost like a complement palette to the Three Lakes, the Fuji Three Lakes palette, the one that had the yellow and the reds and then a couple of blues. I feel like this would be like a perfect like companion palette with that one. I cannot wait to dive into this one. I think it's so pretty, and I really want to do a look with this palette that embodies the color story of this palette, which is red and blue. And this palette is also already available. I think it's launched, well, as I'm filming this, it hasn't launched, but as you're seeing this, it has launched, and you can use the code at Nomad Cosmetics and get some money off. A lot of people, I honestly, sometimes I get shocked at how many people at the same time ask me the exact same thing. And I know it's so frustrating when creators are like, everybody asked me, and people are like, sure they did. But let me tell you, the amount of people that have reached out to me or that has left comments, that has asked me, are you still gonna do that Black Friday guide that you always do each year? Yes, I will. And a couple of these brands will have Black Friday sales. Sometimes they do exclude their newest launches in their Black Friday promotions. I know that, I'm trying to think, I know that Nomad Cosmetics usually does a sale that starts at low and then gets higher each day, and then of course things sell out. So if you want to wait for the day that has the highest amount of money off, you might, some things that you wanted might end up being sold out. I know they did a post on Instagram saying which things were low in stock, so check that one out in case you're interested. I also believe Beauté Bar and Ensley Rain usually exclude their newest releases in their Black Friday sale, so keep that in mind in case if you only wanted the newest releases, they're usually not included in the Black Friday sale. And also remember, a lot of these brands will let you stack a code on top of the sale, so don't forget to stack a code, like an influencer code, when you're at the checkout as well, just to make sure that you're getting the absolute best price available. You never have to use my code, use somebody's code and get some extra money off so that you can get the lowest price possible. We have two new highlighters that have released as well, and they are definitely on two different sides of the spectrum. One is from L'Oreal, and they're actually releasing their Match Lumi highlighter stick, and they're releasing it in two different formulas. They're releasing it in the glassy shade, and they're releasing it in the glowy shades. So the glowy shades are supposed to be like maybe a little bit more like this, like a glow on the cheeks, and then the glassy ones, and I'm just gonna take like a stab in the dark here. I think that they're gonna be more of a dewy, oily formula because they are supposed to look like glass skin, and I've seen some swatches of these and they do look like it could potentially be a more emollient kind of a formula that might not potentially dry down. Again, I'm just basing that on seeing it being swatched. Do you want me to try it out? Let me know. I could definitely be open to that. I do think that L'Oreal actually has quite a lot of like really good products. Also, the Luminous Silk liquid highlighters from Giorgio Armani are now finally available. 5 different colors going from a bronze to a pearly white. I think these look really nice. They're $39 each, which honestly, I thought they were gonna be more for being like Armani. Armani is not an affordable brand. When it comes to like designer brands, some brands are so expensive you don't even know what to do with yourself. I'm talking like Balm, I'm talking like Hermes, I'm talking like Dior. There are some brands you're like, woo, that went way over my head. And then there are some brands that are very expensive but not as expensive. I'm thinking like Gucci, Armani, there's a couple, Dolce & Gabbana. And then there are some brands that people are like, oh, it's a designer brand, but it's not as expensive. I'm thinking Isabel Marant's, Jacquemus, there are some different options. Armani is a very expensive brand, but I'm surprised that their makeup is not as expensive as like Dior. Because a Dior highlighter, I'm fairly sure, is more than the 39, or was it 38? $39. So I was kind of thinking this was going to be like a $44 thing. So again, I mean, maybe that's a good thing. I am actually wearing the blush today. You wanted me to try it? I'm wearing it today, the red blush that I got in the Sephora sale. Let me know if you want me to try this one out. I'm not like running to buy it. but I could be open for suggestions if it's something that you are interested in. I try to review the stuff that I see a lot of buzz about, or a lot of like questions around, or something that I'm just genuinely interested in buying myself, even though not a single soul is asking for it. And I'm gonna be honest, 80% of my purchases is that. Just me buying stuff not a single soul is interested in, but I am. Also, let's talk about the weekly Spectrum and Disney collab. Did you think that we're gonna have a week off? Absolutely not. This is now available at Ulta. This is the Spectrum Madcap Mickey 10-piece makeup brush set. Make it stop. Make it stop. Somebody, we need a Spectrum brushes intervention. Some of y'all are out there buying all of their collabs, and you're endorsing this madness. How many Mickey brushes do we need? How many Mickey brushes are too many Mickey brushes? Because I feel we've passed the line. We've passed the line. You look back, the line is a dot. Okay, it's enough. Enough. Make it stop. I looked at this one and I thought that this was going to be those. Is it the Maybelline baby lips? You remember those? I remember those. And we were like, oh my god, they're so cool. They were kind of shitty. Those were like some waxy ass chapsticks, okay? Those were not great. Essence is releasing a juicy balm. I'm sorry, but this packaging doesn't this look exactly like those? Maybe they're trying to look like those, and they're like, who wants to ride that wave? That's not a wave I want to be on. Like, let me off the wave. No, but I will say, this could be fun. Potentially is the Juice Balm Glossy Butter Balm, $3.99 each, scented colored lip balm, melts onto lips. Sure. I mean, not for me, but doesn't this look like the baby lips? Let me know if you also bought a baby lips, fooling yourself into thinking those were good quality. Listen, I can admit I was that person. Are we in the same club? I kind of want to get this one. Okay, you could easily bully me into getting this one. This is Snif Naughty Nonna. I really like the Snif scent that I have. I have the one that is called Soda Snob, and it is a very spicy cola scent. It is not as good as the Lab on Fire Paris LA, but it's also not as expensive and hard to get as that one. And it does, the initial spritz of it is indeed a very zesty cola, and then it dries down like a very spicy warmer, like not vanilla, but like a warmer scent. But it definitely is a very good scent. And this one is called Naughty Nonna, and it is, I guess I read this and I'm thinking this is their take on like the Christmas fruitcake, because like, you know, the Nonna is like the grandmother, Italian grandmother, and your grandmother would always make you those like fruitcakes, and nobody was really asking for them. And it is candied ginger, orange, prune, rum, walnut, and vanilla glaze. And I'm thinking ginger, orange, and rum sounds delightful, because I love a boozy scent. And if they are gonna be anywhere close to being a gourmand, I have realized I like gourmands if they're leaning lactic or if they're leaning boozy. And since I already like the one I have from Snif, I'm like, maybe. Oh yeah, this says not your usual fruitcake, but your Nonna's naughty fruitcake. Oh, I love it. Booze soaked, sugared, and spice. Oh, smells like candied ginger, bits of orange prune. Okay, I think I sold this on my... I don't even need your advice. You're dismissed. When you're seeing this video, I've already bought this one. I hope it's not sold out. Am I getting this now? Let's take a little break so I can purchase. Hold. Okay, crisis averted. It was not available yet. My debit card is shearing in the corner. I feel like we never talk about the Balm, but I also think that it's because the Balm is never really talking about themselves. I don't know what's going on with the Balm, but they're not like a super hyped brand anymore. They did release a liquid blush this year. I bought it. I loved it. It survived my declutter. I can let you know about that. I already filmed my declutters. They are starting in 2 weeks. Countdown to the declutter series starting, and the Balm is releasing an instant plump your pucker. This is an instant plump your pucker lip plumper, where a visibly plumper lip meets pleasure without the pinch. Pleasure? What are we selling here? Lip gloss or a vibrator? Available in 5 high shine shades, non-sticky formula, silky soft feel, enhancing natural volume. This ain't our first rodeo. Giddy up and get ready. Maybe they are selling a vibrator. They say that it's not gonna be pinch, so I'm wondering, is it a cooling one? I have no idea. This is not something that I'm gonna be purchasing myself. I have realized that I don't like a fully opaque lip gloss, and I can tell by the swatches of these that this is gonna be a fully opaque lip gloss. But if you love the Balm and you wanna keep them around, maybe at least now you know that they are releasing something new. Let's talk about the new brand from Marlena Stell. This is called Marsté. I think it's called House of Marsté. She is posting, I'm not showing you the video, I'm showing you like just a picture, but she is posting a video showing what can only be described as perfume bottles, and it says the 18th of November, which is, let's be very honest, Monday. That is Monday. So I am assuming that we might be able to talk more about this. Maybe she's shown a little bit more when I'm able to sit down again Thursday morning and we can talk about it. What I will say, I think this is going to be under the Marsté line and not under Makeup Geek. So is it a revival of Makeup Geek? I don't think so. I'm fairly sure that Marlena like has moved on from Makeup Geek. I did have the absolute pleasure of meeting Marlena. It was so amazing. I met her at a BK Beauty party here in Austin a little while ago. It was in August. It was so amazing, and she did reach out to me just a couple of weeks ago and asked me about my address. So I am fairly sure that I am going to be receiving some of this in PR, and I will of course let you know. If this is what it seems to be, which it seems to be fragrances, I'm so excited. You know, I love fragrances. I love makeup. I really do, but my first love is fragrances, and nothing makes me more excited than fragrances. You will even see that in my ranking that's coming next week, because I do mention one of my recent fragrance purchases that I am head over heels obsessed with, and I cannot wait to talk more about it. So I am so excited about this. I feel like fragrances and like self-care and body care and fragrances and perfumes and candles, it's so in right now. So it's going to be very exciting to see what she does with this. And I'm also super excited because I know Marlena is also a big fragrance, like she loves fragrances. She talks about it a lot. It's going to be very interesting to see what her scent profiles will be. Again, I am just assuming this is gonna be fragrances, but this video very, very, very much looks like fragrance bottles. So if it's not that, I'm assuming it's body oil or maybe house fragrances, because I don't know what else, unless she's releasing alcohol. Marlena, are you releasing alcohol? Are you creating a booze brand? Listen, I'm down. You wanna sell me booze? I'm definitely down for that. I love me a good cocktail. I'm just saying, I don't know what else it would be in a glass bottle with a cork like this. It has to be that. So I'm very excited to see what her scent profile will be, what kind of fragrances she wants to like represent her brand. So cannot wait to see more about that. But that is what I have at this very moment. With that being said, I am filming this on a Monday because tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm leaving for North Carolina. And on Thursday morning, I am gonna sit down for a little bit before I hang out with my friends, because I'm gonna be hanging out with Amanda, also Amy that lives in the same town, and I am bringing Samantha March with me there. So we're gonna be hanging out a ton, but I will still sit down, maybe, I don't know how long, but talk about the latest news. And I'll do that right now, actually.
3 days later.
Look at me, I am in a different position. It's Angie from the future. I am at Amanda Makeup Just for Fun right now. I'm in her little cute craft room, and we are going to talk about some of the releases that have been announced and some of them released. I don't know, but like sneak peek in between me filming the other part and the next part. I'm wearing some makeup, but it's not a lot. We're just, listen, you know what we're gonna do today? We're gonna light a fire, we're gonna have s'mores cocktails, and we're gonna lay puzzles. Nobody mess with us. But I'm still here to, I was gonna say entertain, but that will be up for you to decide. Let me scoochie to the side so we can put some pictures and talk about the things that have been announced since last I was here. Let's start talking about the reveal of the collaboration that we talked about with the Blend Money, Glisten Cosmetics, and linsmakeuplooks. So we've been able to see it now, and it is like we thought. It is 2 different palettes. There's also 2 brush sets, which I will say, I understand that there is a brush set that's for the eyeshadows and a brush set for the eyeliners, but I think most of all I understand that one brush set is Blend Money brushes and one brush set is Glisten Cosmetics brushes. But having 2 different brush sets in a collab, to me it's a little not confused, but maybe. There's a lip tint, there's eyelashes, and then there's two palettes. I think they are magnetic so that you can put them together. They're also magnetic so that you can take out the pans and move them around. So if you want to have a palette, because the palettes, one is, like I said, did I not say this is going to be a rainbow palette? One eyeshadow and one liners, like water activated liners. Evidence like right here. This is exactly what we get. And I did voice that I have a little bit of concern because Nomad Cosmetics, this is now their 4th collab this year, and they have all done a version of a rainbow palette. And love Nomad Cosmetics, love the owner. I've never tried Glisten Cosmetics, I'm sure they're great, but it does worry me a little bit because I don't want them to pull an ABH where it's like, you know, too many palettes, too many collabs back to back to back, and people like grow tired of them. So I really, 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 really hope that we have a little bit of a difference next year. With that being said, this palette is different because this is a 15 pan palette and it is a little bit more jumbled up. And I would have thought that this palette would have been so great for Blend Bunny had they not already had 3 collab somewhat rainbow palettes this year. I do think it's fun though. The one thing that is a little mystifying, and this one has been delivered to my home, very excited to try it. And you know what? I bet with me, I love a smaller palette, I love a curated palette, I love the whole idea of this. I would not be surprised if this ends up being my favorite rainbow palette from the brand. I'm going to be honest with you, from someone that will have tried each and every one of them, I think this might be my favorite. If this is the Blend Bunny quality, it has more mattes than shimmers, it is smaller, curated, a little bit more me. But if you own all the Blend Bunny palettes, will this give you something different? That I don't know, because the undertones aren't, I think, different enough just seeing it here on the, but I think they're going to be on the eyes from some of the palettes that they've done from before. So this is just a more curated version, and this is where I also become a little bit like the pricing. So the pricing is $46 for the eyeshadow palette, $25 for the brush set, $12.50 for the lashes. The wet liner palette is also $46. And then there is a brush set again, $25, and the Peach Juicy Tint, $12. The eyeshadow palette that is a 15 pan palette is the same price as some of those bigger collab palettes that they've done this year, that some of them literally have twice the shades. That is to me a little bit confusing. I realized this palette is magnetic, you can move the pans around. I think I started to saying that in a while ago and then I got interrupted myself. You can move the pans around. That does make palettes more expensive. And people are always like, all palettes should be magnetic. It does make palettes more expensive. Again, exhibit. So I think that for me, the pricing is a little mystifying because the pricing is the same, if not super, super similar to the one that they did with Robert Welch literally a month ago. That had, I think, double the amount of shades. So I don't know the story behind that. I really don't. With that being said, if I judge this not based on what I already know from Blend Bunny, the things they already have, the things they've already released, the pricing of the brand, I think it looks really fun. Cute. It's a cute collab. I like the fun curation of a mini rainbow palette. I do like that. But I don't know if it fits in seamlessly with the brand. And I don't want to sound like a hater. I just want to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, I can love a brand but still have constructive feedback. So I'm very excited to try this though. And like I said, if I put the price aside, I do think that if this is the Blend Bunny quality, this will be my favorite rainbow palette because I like a smaller palette. So let me know what you think about this. Now that we have seen the reveal, now that we've seen everything, how do you feel about this now that you've seen it? We've also, and this is something that literally Melt and Bailey Sarian started revealing and sneak peeking as I was editing the first part of this video, and that is their second collab that is coming out. And you know what, I think it makes sense. I do think that their first collab did pretty good. I have already filmed my declutter, and I can tell you right now that I did get rid of some of the lip products, but I did save the palette. It's a really fun palette, and this is the Fatally Yours 2 collection, and it's the second run with Melt Cosmetics and Bailey Sarian. The whole collection is $225, and it is an eyeshadow palette, lipsticks, lip gloss, duochrome eyeshadow gel, scarlet gel liner, a powder blush, a lash, a cuff clutch, and a mirror. I think that this is really fun. I think if you missed the Melt, was it the waiting room palette? There was a red and silver and like black. This is that palette with the gold. That palette is no longer available. This is probably going to be the same kind of quality. So if you missed that palette and you want that color story from Melt, this is in the vicinity. Close enough that I don't think you might need both. I think that this palette will probably work really good together with the palette they've already released, especially since it seems to be a white matte in here, and I love a good white matte to like contrast. I might pick this one up to try. I like Melt shadows, not my favorite, but I like them, and I like Bailey Sarian, and I have the first one, so I'm like, you know what, I might get this one. Are you interested in seeing me do something? Because I did buy the second collection. I'm not gonna buy the entire collection again. It was so many people. Last time I bought the entire collection, I did do a review on it, but this one is expensive. It's $225, and I don't think that that will serve me right. I wonder if the lipsticks will be sold differently, because there's like a grayish one in here, and I do want to get that one. So yeah, let me know what you think about this one. I would love to hear your thoughts. Are you interested in this one? Did you try the first one? I might try that one out. Also, Nimya, a brand that I feel like we don't talk about that often, which is a Nikkie Tutorials brand. They are releasing some new products, and one of them that they're releasing is shiny glitter lipsticks, which is metallic lipsticks seems to be making a comeback. And I have said on my channel before that I actually like a metallic lipstick that's darker. A red, a plum, a dark brown, something like that. I think that that's really nice. It is the light colors that are not for me, or the ones that are made to look like metals. So there is one here that's a champagne glitter lipstick, not for me. There is one that is like a golden peach, not for me. Then there is one that looks a little bit more like a bronze. And depending on how much pigment that one has, if it's like a metallic brown or if it's like a sheer bronze, that could be really nice. But overall, I don't think that these colors are for me. This isn't a release for me. They're also releasing highlighters, which I find pretty interesting, because I feel like this is one of those things that I'm surprised. Did they not have highlighters from before? I'm surprised that Nikkie Tutorials, that was kind of known for like a super glow, didn't release highlighters. I'm also surprised that they released one eyeshadow palette and then no more eyeshadow palettes. I don't, again, I'm such a hypocrite, literally sitting in a glass house throwing rocks like there's no tomorrow. I don't understand why there are so few releases from Nimya and why they didn't release another eyeshadow palette. I feel like people did like the formula of it, or didn't they? I don't know. Refresh my mind, because I feel like I saw some people say that the palette was really nice, but there was some parts of the color story that was like not making sense because they were too close to, like, they wanted to do the orange and the blue, that's the Nimya brand, but still wanted to do a neutral palette, so the color story didn't 100% make sense. But I feel like people like the palette. So for them to be like skincare, primer, eyeshadow palette, and glitter lipsticks, highlighters, they did some cream blushes as well. Was that this year? Maybe this is the second release this year. And again, throwing stones in a glass building, because I own an indie brand and we've only had one release this year, so like, who am I to talk? But also Nikkie Tutorials is such a big name. Like, I am a small fish in a big sea. So she probably has a big team around her that is able to work on this. So it does surprise me that there are this few launches, and I'm wondering, is it because the brand is just not that poppin' maybe? But also, like, how are you supposed to make the brand poppin' if you don't? I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts. I will say, the glitter lipsticks, that's not for me. The highlighters might be. There are two shades. There are three shades. One that is a pink, and then there's like a champagne and a bronze. Again, it's basically the same as lipsticks. I didn't see any swatches here. I only see them worn on models, and I mean, it looks cute, but yeah, I don't know. Let me also, like, did you try Nimya? I still have not tried anything from the brand, but I think it's because none of the products have been like, oh, I really want to try that. I do have a friend though that tried the cream blushes, and I think she thought they were really nice, if I'm not totally mistaken. I feel like that's what I've heard. I'm not sure. Also, we have another beige mediocre release from the Kim Kardashian brand, the Skkn. This eyeshadow palette is just, I feel like, no, I was gonna say, I feel like this is the same as her last eyeshadow palette, but that is not true, because remember her last eyeshadow palette was an all matte, right? Because we were all thinking that it was like the same as the Makeup by Mario all matte palette, and this one has some shimmers, and it's like a neutral brown palette with a pop of some cool tones, and now there's some shimmers in here. And then there are lip glosses as well, the same kind of neutral shades that she's been doing with lipsticks. I think a lot of people would love that. People seem to love that like wide range of nudes, which is fine. The absolute nothingness of the color story and the absolute nothingness of the branding with the absolute nothingness of the packaging is just so, well, a big ball of nothingness to me. I just cannot get excited about this brand. I just like, this is just so uninspiring to me. And I do realize that if you love neutrals, you might look at this and be like, this could be my everyday palette. I might never need to buy a palette again in my life, and I respect that. I just cannot get excited by it, which I guess, I mean, are two different things. I don't know. Also, we've seen a sneak peek from Lunar Beauty. Lunar Beauty is one of my favorite indie brands. I think they make amazing things. Look at this one. And there is it says new Lunar coming soon. And the sneak peek seems to be a beach. You know? One is like a moon with like the darkness of the sky around it, like nighttime. And one seems to be a beach with blue skies. And the little, like under here, there's this little logo. And it says a little emoji with a sun and a little emoji with a full moon. So is this going to be like a night and day theme? I'm very excited. I love trying out Lunar Beauty. I think they make a great quality products, and I cannot wait to see what this is going to be. Lunar Beauty is one of those brands that also does not have a lot of releases every year, but when they release something, they do it with a purpose. It's good products, good packaging, good theming. It's just altogether, usually for me, a very exciting launch, and I cannot wait to see what that all is going to be about. We also have, and this is just going to be before, I'm going to say some things for next week, because again, I'm at a friend's, we're supposed to be doing puzzles right now. I don't want to be working all day, but I did want to catch you up on some things. But I want to talk about like news, and this is that Ulta Beauty introduces stricter return policy ahead of holiday shopping season. So keep this in mind. Ulta is changing their return windows to be a little bit closer to what Sephora and Amazon is doing, and they're doing this supposedly because Ulta is not doing that hot right now. They're not financially doing as good as they were wishing they were doing. So they used to have a 60-day return window, and they're changing that to a 30-day return window. So have that in mind if you're shopping from Ulta, that they're gonna have a 30-day return window coming this holiday season. It's gonna be the same as Amazon and Sephora. This one says that you can return gently used products to the retailer to be eligible for a full refund. The updated policy better positions Ulta against its two fiercest competitors, Sephora and Amazon, which has a 30-day window. So I just wanted to let you know about that, because I don't feel like that's going to be one of those things that Ulta themselves is going to be like parading around, because not really like selling you the dream now, is it? Let's end talking about something that one of you sent to me, and I am so intrigued to hear your thoughts about this, because this is wild, y'all. This is Halo Beauty is now coming out with makeup. Okay, let me run the backstory. Halo Beauty used to be the dietary supplement brand owned by Tati Westbrook, Tati Beauty, you know, here on YouTube, together with a business partner of hers. And then she started, is it Tati Beauty? Right? That was the brand. Yeah, she started that, and it was like a collaboration with Seed Beauty, which is the umbrella brand of like ColourPop and a couple of other things. It was like a collaboration between them, and she got sued by the other owner of Halo Beauty because they were like, hey, you said you were gonna release makeup with us, with Halo Beauty. And Tati was like, I never said such a thing, I'm doing my own thing. Probably because she was making more money on her own with Seed Beauty than she would be with Halo Beauty. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of this. It's just, there was a big thing. The lawsuit ended with everything getting dropped and Tati allowing herself to distance herself from Halo Beauty, so she is no longer part of Halo Beauty, the dietary supplement brand, and she is starting up her own, I think, Tati Beauty, or the return of Tati Beauty again. This is what I think we are right now in the story. So the fact that now Halo Beauty is like, we're going into beauty when Tati left is just, okay, we realize you wanted to do this all the time. You probably think you were gonna make a shit ton of money selling makeup. I don't know about the dietary supplement. I never tried them. If you know that I am very skeptical of dietary supplements. I think that there are some things that will make a lot of sense if it's recommended to you by a doctor. I also think that depending on your diet, a daily like vitamin, multivitamin can make a lot of sense for a lot of people. There are so many things that can make sense, but the things that Halo Beauty had is just not the kind of things that I myself believe in. It can work for some people, but I don't think it's going to work for the majority of people. That's my personal opinion based on my degree and that I used to work with dietary supplements for 8 years. I do have some authority to speak on here. But now it says, a new chapter for Halo Beauty. We are thrilled to announce that Halo Beauty is entering a beautiful new phase guided by a female-owned brand. This is some really interesting wording. Guided by a female-owned brand that shares our passion for clean, ethical, blah, 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 all of that, you know, the fluffy words. So it is not a female-owned brand. This brand is owned by that guy that sued Tati. Let's not get it twisted. Guided by a female-owned brand could literally be him showing the samples to a female that owns another brand that has nothing to do with beauty. It doesn't say here, female-owned brand. It could be him showing the samples to his wife that is running an MLM. We do not know what this means. This is a mumbo jumbo. This doesn't mean anything. Guided by a female-owned brand literally could be like, my cousin's wife owns an MLM. What do you think about these samples? It doesn't mean anything. These are just fluffy words that have no bearing to them. This picture looks like, again, it looks like a stock photo from an MLM in 1992. I'm gonna say it like it is. Listen, this does not look like something I want to buy. The lipsticks are not even. Whoever took this product photography could not even bother to make sure the lipsticks are even. The colors, there is a metallic peach in there that is very 1992 again. These are very generic colors. The bullet looks generic. It all just looks... What space are you filling? Is this a unique formula? Is this a unique packaging? Is this unique colors? Do you have a unique spokesperson? There is nothing about this that says, oh, we are bringing something to the market. And I don't even think that everybody needs to bring unique products to the market. At this point, we're just perfecting what's already existing. But you do need to have some kind of perspective. You need to bring some kind of a unique quality. Otherwise, you're just releasing lipsticks. Is this something you cannot already find? Something about this has to be different. The undertones, the formula, the packaging, the spokesperson, because they got rid of the spokesperson. Remember, Tati, no longer here. That would have been a selling point for people to buy Halo Beauty if it was Tati's brand. So I'm super confused about this. Oh, somebody is asking, so who's the female owner? The announcement is coming in December. Our brand is real and not private label, which is such a weird comment because you can still be a real brand even though you're private labeled. A lot of people are asking who's the female owner and they're like, we're going to talk about this soon. I really don't think you should put this up at all if you're not ready to talk about the new female owner. Like, let's have that discussion when the female owner is ready to have that discussion. Because like, why would you put up like under direction of new female owner? Like, is it a new female owner or are you just being guided by another? Like, did you put someone on the board? Like, there's so many questions here, and there are good sneak peeks and then there are bad sneak peeks, and I think that this will just fall under the umbrella of like just bad sneak peeks that just raise more questions than they answer. And yeah, all publicity, people say all publicity is good publicity, but I am gonna tell you right now, yes, this will put you on the map. A lot of people will talk about Halo Beauty. I mean, I'm doing it right now. But I don't think that this necessarily falls under the umbrella of like good publicity. I'm gonna say it like it is. Am I gonna buy this? No, I'm not interested. It does, and I'm gonna say maybe they're new female owners, like someone I truly respect, and they're like, oh my god, this is such an innovative formula. Who knows? I don't see that, But who knows? But I wanted to let you know about it, especially since I thought that this was so interesting. And one of you sent this to me and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I also saw some people in the comments, let me scooch back. I also saw some people in the comments saying that they were deleting comments, which is never a good look. I do think that the brand, as a brand, I do think that you should have the right to delete comments that are very offensive. When people are straight up threatening. A lot of times it is more wild out there than you might think. And sometimes some comments do deserve to be deleted, I'm gonna be honest. Because there are some wild things going on in the comments sometimes. And I do think that as a brand, you should have the right to delete things that are straight up threats, illegal harassment, just straight up like bullying and screaming, because it's unhinged, like it really is. But you should not be deleting this like constructive criticism, because it needs to be like, we need to be able to talk about stuff like that. But thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. The end of this video was a little haphazardly happening from from Amanda's house, but I hope you're having a great day. Thank you again so much HelloFresh for sponsoring the beginning part of this video. Don't forget to check all the info down in the description box, and I will see you again Monday for a new video. Bye!